Adam, thank you. This morning, another person is in isolation and being tested for the deadly coronavirus in Western Washington.
Last night, Harborview Medical Center says that patient showed up with symptoms of a respiratory illness. Let's check in with John Hopperstad live outside Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. And John, what do we know about this case?
Well, as you mentioned, this person showed up here at Harborview showing signs of respiratory illness, so the doctors not taking any chances. The symptoms are pretty generic around coronavirus: cough, cold-like symptoms, flu-like symptoms. So he is in isolation here right now as we await the test on him. Of course, we're still awaiting the test on a third University of Washington student who had traveled to China. Two other students tested negative. Yesterday, we were at Northwest Hospital. There is somebody there being tested as well, also in isolation. The only confirmed case we have right now in Washington State is the very first one in the U.S., and that's a man in Snohomish County in his 30s. He is still at Providence Medical Center in Everett. He is in isolation as well. Meanwhile, if you go to SeaTac Airport, you're going to see signs warning you about coronavirus. The airport added to the list of U.S. airports with extra health screening checkpoints. All have CDC quarantine stations as well. But Governor Jay Inslee says he is calling for even tougher coronavirus screenings at SeaTac. He says passengers arriving from China should have their temperatures taken and provide information on their recent health history before they're allowed to enter the state.
We're hopeful that the CDC looks at these additional screening things. We think that they're reasonable, and we hope that the federal government will adopt that protocol in our airport from places where there have been human-to-human transmission from China. And we think that's the right thing to do.
Of course, this virus can spread from person to person, and there is no vaccine just yet, although China thinks that it is very close to developing a vaccine. The State Department of Health says if you've recently traveled to Wuhan, China, and you have a fever, cough, or difficulty breathing, do contact your doctor. Call them first, though, before you go in to that location. Of course, here at Harborview, we are awaiting the test results of the person who is now admitted here under suspicion they may have coronavirus as well, guys.
John, thank you. Meanwhile, more than a dozen